Hey, 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 my beautiful people. How is everybody doing this morning? It is currently West Coast time, 12:50 or 10:52. And apparently here in 8 minutes, the President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump, is supposed to go live to talk to us about some sort of a national emergency. Now, I'm just going to say, I have no idea what he's going to be talking about. This is sort of up in the air. They haven't really given us any idea as to what he's going to be speaking on. Hold on. Sorry. I got a little echo here. Had to handle that. Sorry, my bad. Technical difficulties. It's too early. I have not had enough of these in my system yet. But I'm really interested to see exactly what is going on here. Now, I think it's really important to mention that Donald Trump has not been seen since Thursday. Now, I did post a video and I need to do a makeup video on it because everybody on TikTok, particularly TikTok, is speculating that Donald Trump died because he hadn't been seen since Thursday and they're not used to him not being on the news every single day. Like, we absolutely 100% see him like every single day. So we got used to that pace. And then he wasn't seen for a couple days and everybody's like, oh my God, he's dead. Some people were celebrating it. Some people were like tripping, like, I hope he's okay. It just depends on what side of the aisle you land on, but I posted a video because there were a lot of people who were, the mainstream media actually posted, look, here's pictures of him from this week, but those pictures have been debunked. Those pictures are from like months ago. Like, they actually did a reverse Google image search, and those pictures are old pictures. So Trump hasn't been actually seen since Thursday. Now, in my opinion, if you just look at Trump and his personality, the type of dude that he is, he loves to prove his haters wrong. I don't think anything makes him happier than being able to come out and go, fake news, they're idiots, they're demented liberal retards. Like, that's kind of his spiel. That's his speed that he's on, right? That's on his time. No, Doug, those photos that we were given from Saturday were actually proven to have been from months ago on the reverse Google image search. I did a video on that. I was wrong. I haven't been able to make a correction video on that yet. It's been crazy. I don't know if y'all know what's going on over here in Oregon. Today was the first day of school. So we have kids that we've been gearing up and getting ready to go to their first day of school. So some stuff has slipped through the cracks. Sometimes when you're a parent, stuff happens. So regardless of what side of the fence you're on, there's a lot of speculation. People doing thoughts and prayers, people hoping he's okay. And then a lot of people are celebrating the idea that something horrific has happened. So this is supposed to be his first public appearance since then. It would make sense to me. I would have thought that he would have gotten like out on the news and been like, you're all stupid. You're all dumb. Look at the fake news. President Trump is not dead. He's the most alive he's ever been. More alive than any American in the history of Americans being alive. Because that's kind of his speed, dog. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's a whole lot of people speculating on what this is going to be. People are saying that he might be going to war with Venezuela, that we might be going in to get him. Now, if you remember correctly, the president of Venezuela, and this isn't like just a Trump thing. Like, Biden had a $25 million bounty for the arrest and the apprehension of the president of Venezuela. Because the dude's like a real life criminal or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a criminal. Not that our politicians aren't. Our politicians are definitely criminals. They just choose different types of crimes. Look at Nancy fucking insider trading Pelosi, my guy. You know what I'm saying? But people are saying that he might be announcing that we're actually going to go in and go to war with Venezuela. That's one thing that I've seen a lot. Now, Roman Wolf Gaming brought up something that's really incredibly important here because I saw this as well, and this is something that I think is super worth mentioning. Roman, thank you for bringing this to mind. Roman Wolf said, JD Vance said he was ready if anything happens. If anything happens to Trump, he said he's ready to take over the presidency. Now, people on the left really seem to be celebrating the idea of Donald Trump dying. They're like, the only thing he's not passing is away, because he keeps doing these executive orders and passing executive orders, and they're celebrating the idea of him dying. Bro, do you think JD Vance aligns more with your viewpoint? If you're out here going, I hope Donald Trump passes away, you're going to get 3 extra years of JD Vance. And then there's a huge chance that he'll get elected next term, and then the term after that. And JD Vance is probably more conservative than Donald Trump. And he's probably more concise with what he wants to do. And JD Vance, for me, his connections with Peter Thiel really freak me out. Really freak me the fuck out, bro. I don't like Peter Thiel. I don't like police state surveillance. I don't like the idea of pre-crime. I don't like any of that. JD Vance is really well connected with Peter Thiel. He has funded his entire political career so far, and that makes me nervous, dog. I'm not gonna lie. Just personally, I'm not going to lie. Crypt said, what the fuck is going on, JD? What's this about? So President Trump is gearing up to give his first presidential announcement. And he said there's a national emergency and that this is going to be like a big thing. And nobody has seen this dude since Thursday. So there's a few different things this could be. So here we go. What is this? This does not seem to be a presidential announcement. This is literally Fox News, you guys. Mobstopper said, have you seen what's going on in Indonesia? I have not, bro. I have not. Please educate me. JD, you liked Biden better? No. John Doe, don't get me fucked up for a second, dog. Hold on. This is crazy. Don't get me fucked up for a second. I did not like Joe Biden any better. I'm not right or left, dog. I want somebody who's actually for the people, who's going to do things that make our lives markedly better. And I didn't see anything that Joe Biden did that made any of our lives markedly better. In fact, I think he did things that made our lives incredibly more difficult. From where I'm sitting, and your experience might have been different, but from where I'm sitting, that dude did stuff that made me and the people around me's lives markedly worse. So no, he's releasing the Epstein files. He is not releasing the Epstein files, my guy. Actually, another interesting thing is that tomorrow, Ro Khanna is holding a press conference with the Epstein survivors. He is throwing a press conference with the Epstein survivors, one of which accused Donald Trump. And he's going to throw this press conference to try to put pressure on for them to release all the Epstein files. Now, this teenage girl, well, she was a teenage girl at the time. She's an adult now. She accused Donald Trump. She actually said that Donald Trump did shit to her when she was a minor, that Jeffrey Epstein videotaped it, and that she had seen the videotapes. So I'm incredibly interested to see what happens with all that. I am trepidatiously waiting to see what happens with that. Brent Fashy said Thiel's name was all over the new Epstein Ehud Barak emails. And bro, I have not looked into that, but that just gave me something that I need to look into. Thank you so much. Fat Elvis, no, Trump was not seen on cam this weekend. Those pictures were actually debunked. And if you do a reverse Google image search, those were from a couple of months ago. But the mainstream media pushed them like they were recent. What is actually going on with Fox News? Why is Fox News glitching out like this? This press conference is supposed to have started right now. Why do we keep getting weird screens? And you guys heard that, right? You guys heard that beep? Mobstopper said Asman has been covering it and people are burning down government buildings. Good for them. Hell yeah, man. Good for them. That's crazy. Go Indonesia, bro. At the point where you don't like, what's going on in your government and you decide to take it back, just understand there's more of us than there are of them. So if you're feeling like the oppression is getting to be too much, I'll stand over here and I'll be like, hey, Indonesia. I'm cool with that, man. I don't know everything about the politics in Indonesia or what's going on in their government, but Trev, we're talking about some seriously political shit here, so we're gonna let political comments slide today, of course.
That was a live event from the Douglas County District Attorney's Office as we were hearing about two separate cases, one involving a man who was fatally shot after selling a gun to a man, and the second was about an update on a serial rapist investigation. We are continuing to monitor a number of live feeds, including this one right here, which takes us out to the White House, a live look right here, as we are expecting President Trump to make an announcement involving U.S. Space Command headquarters. Right now, we don't have a live look inside the Oval Office, but as soon as we get one, we, of course, will bring that to you. In the meantime, we do want to let you know that we are continuing to follow a number of stories, including some breaking news, and that is this right here. I did want to share this social media post from the Associated Press saying that the Pentagon has now authorized up to 600 military lawyers to serve as temporary immigration judges. That is according to a memo reviewed by the Associated Press. And I did want to share a little bit more.
This is great. This nation will be fixed once we remove the tattooed from public. Bro, tattooed people are tougher than you. And you couldn't do a fuck thing about us, tattooed people. You should know your lane and your role. Tattooed people will beat you up, dog. Tattooed people are confirmed tougher, and we've gone through more trauma, and we're about that shit. Come try to remove me from public, dog. I'll give you new dental bills. I got you on that. Okay, what are they talking about?
And the military services should have the first round of people identified by next week. That also in the memo dated August 27th.
Oh, can we get to what we were supposed to be here for?
Being done at the
I'm assuming that this press conference is taking a minute to get to. Josiah, what's up, man? I hope you're doing well, my guy. I am, and I love you. I know it ain't the same thing, but your videos and such have helped me quit smoking cold turkey after the doctor said I couldn't smoke or drink alcohol anymore. Thanks. Hey, anytime you're doing anything to better your life, whether it's taking something out of your situation or whether it's, doing something that's going to make your life or your health or your mental health better, I am so here for that. Congratulations, bro. I'm damn proud of you. Damn proud of you. Yo, Scorched Earth, Chomo Gate 2025. Bro, I would love that. Thank you for the support, big dog. I appreciate you, man. Hell yeah. And we got Daniel Latrell, aliens. He's going to tell us about aliens. Bro, they've told us about aliens like 5 times, and we just keep going, yeah. Okay, what are you distracting us from? Like, every time they try to tell us about aliens, bro, we're just like, yeah, we've already known. We knew that already. Like, what are you talking about? We don't care. Tell us about the real shit. What are you hiding? What are you hiding? Oh, Minneapolis. Are we going? We're in a commercial break. Great. Okay. So they are doing the old zip. You know, when you're with a really hot chick and you're sitting in the car and you like just roasted one and you're out on a date and she unzips and you're like, oh yeah. And then she rezips and you're like, oh, that's what they're doing to us right now, bro. They on some old bullshit, bro. I get it, Freedom Otter. They do got to pay the bills. I understand. I mean, I have to do ads every once in a while too to keep the lights on. I get it. I just don't know why we're not to. This thing was supposed to crack off at 2. And considering we haven't actually seen Trump since Thursday, and now all of a sudden he's late to a press conference. This dude loves to be on TV. He loves to be on TV, man. You know what I'm saying? Give us our tax money back, kids. So I want to ask you guys a question because he has talked about giving everybody a dividend check since we're doing good financially. Would you rather get a one-time dividend check or have them shut down or reduce federal taxes? I would rather them just not take our shit anymore. Get your hands out my motherfucking pockets, dog. But what do you guys think? Would you rather get a one-time check or have them reduce or eliminate federal taxes? Quibbly Danger just hopped in. What's shelling on JD? Yo, man, we're just waiting for President Trump to come out and do this big announcement that he says he's going to be doing. So he said there's a big announcement. We're not exactly sure what it's going to be about. Some people are speculating that it's going to be a war against Venezuela. As we know, President Biden had a $25 million bounty on his head. Trump raised it and elevated it to a $50 million bond on the president of Venezuela's head.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry is talking about gun reform.
Of course they're talking about gun reform.
And that stem not out of hate.
I can't stand this.
Not
dude,
out of
bro.
politics.
Listen. Okay, so here's how this is going. That guy did bad shit with guns that was illegal. So we want to take everybody else's guns. That's not how this shit works, bro. That's not how this shit works. And I don't know about y'all. I don't trust our government. The idea of trusting the government makes me feel icky inside, like I have a scorching case of the fucking butt herpes. That I would rather have a scorching case of the fucking butt herpes to care than to actually trust our government for a single second. So the idea of handing the government over everybody's gun rights, I already lost mine, bro. Don't do it. Mine were unconstitutionally stripped from me. Do not trust the government enough to let them fool you into taking your gun rights away from you, because the only way that they're actually going to be able to do this, the only way that they would actually be able to do this is if they were to get us to voluntarily, like the majority of people, to voluntarily hand over our gun rights. Never let them take it. If you are willing to give over your freedoms, God-given freedoms according to the Constitution, for the illusion of safety, you have already lost the plot. You don't deserve freedom or safety. Intellectual iconoclasm said, no, make a payment on the damn debt and give our kids a refund on their mortgaged futures. I like that idea as well, man. Hell yeah. Bro, you always come with the straight fire, dog. I will never give up my guns. Dab Team 6, facts. My guns were all already lost in a tragic boat fire. Purged voter. A fucking boat fire, dog. Hell yeah. Boat fire for the win. Death silence. Death silence. Sorry, it took me a second. You spelled it funny, bro. And I'm a hooked on phonics kid. The only acceptable form of gun control is to use two hands. Hey, you know what I'm saying? And use your trigger discipline. Make sure that you're not holding that trigger. Let me tell you a quick story, man. I didn't know a whole lot about trigger discipline when I was just a young street thug, right? And there was this dude that ripped me off, and I cornered him. I cornered him in the house. He came over to this chick's house, and I was there, and she was like, don't you have beef with him? And I'm like, yeah, bring him in here. Don't let him know that I'm here. And he ripped me off, bro. We did a crime together, and then he took my part of the booty, bro. He took my part of the spoils. We were street pirates, and he had no street pirate ethics or morals or fucking loyalty. So he came in, and I just immediately, I had my pistol in my hand, and I pistol whipped him upside the head, right? But I had my finger on the trigger, and when I hit him in the head, the gun went off. Stupidest thing I ever did. And boom, he went deaf in this ear for like 3 months, dog. And I shot a hole in this chick's fucking wall that went out through her ceiling. It was crazy, dog. I learned trigger discipline that day. Trigger discipline's important. William Croft, Desert Storm vet here, longtime subscriber, first-time super chatter. Make pedophiles afraid again. William Croft, thank you for your service and your sacrifice. Thank you for being here. We love and celebrate you here, man. We are so glad that you are a part of this community. You are so welcome, and we appreciate you. Joe Christmas, alive from JD during work. Oh, hell yeah. My day just got a lot better. Much love, my dude. Joe, thank you so much, man. I was so stoked to see this was going on, and I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to jump on. I'm going to jump on. Dab Team 6 said, lucky it was just a wall, brother. Big facts, because somebody could have been actually seriously hurt. And my goal was not to, like, kill anybody or shoot anybody. I just wanted to scare the shit out of him. Now, this dude ended up still not giving me the money that he owed me. So he had been to prison for stolen cars. So I started parking stolen cars in his front lawn. I would steal a car, drive it into his front lawn, and then just bounce out. Because having a stolen car in your front lawn when you've already been to prison and convicted of stealing cars is a real bad deal. That's what got him to pay me. Joe, thank you for that support. Appreciate you. Peter TJ Keenan. JD, doesn't it piss you off that they let the fact that the singer of Red Hot Chili Peppers had sex with a 14-year-old when he was 24 slide under the rug? You know, I wanted to actually do a full length on Anthony Kiedis. I thought about doing a series of full lengths on all of these people because there's so many people that I think it's just been so long that people don't really know. They don't remember. They're like, Anthony Kiedis is a fucking pedophile. He is. He is. And there's so many others like that. Like Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses, his rape charges or his rape accusations. There's so many of these things. Hicka, thank you so much for the love and support, family. Appreciate you. Joe says, just watch Say Hi to Eli and decided to come say hi to the Irish plop. My pepper back. Big love and respect. Dominar said, again, they who can give up essential liberty to attain a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Ben Franklin. It's always relevant. You could say it 1,000,000 times and it would still be relevant, brother. Addicted to decibels. Trump calls a press conference to appoint JD Secretary of Wood Chippers. Hell yeah. Daniel Luttrell, what is up, homeboy? How you doing? Pirate code is to always share your booty. No homo. Maybe a little. Not a lot, homo. No diddy, though. Eugene Haynes said this U.S. Marine vet supports the wood chipper idea. Semper Fi, JD. Hey, from the son of a Marine to you, thank you so much for your service and your sacrifice. Love you and appreciate you. We got beef with Venezuela. Fox Mulder, we certainly do got some beef with Venezuela, man. Quibbly Danger. Mr. Delay, since the Amish don't have electricity, how do they chip pedos? Man, I don't know. I think there's so many. Here's another series of full lengths I wanted to do. I wanted to do some full lengths about old school torture devices and execution devices. I think that would be really cool. Like, this was the wood chipper from 1846. This is what they used to use to execute people. I wanted to do that, man. So I could look into, I think the Amish are not really into executing people, though, which I don't know. I think capital punishment is a necessary thing. Jeremiah Blacklund, some are too good for the wood chipper. They need scaphism. Hell yeah. Roman Wolf Gaming, Jeremy Dwight is a flex offender. Do some vids. Hell yeah, brother. Appreciate you. Jesse Taylor, Urban Underground, big love and respect, man. Hey, what about the Epstein list? Well, Charles, if you were listening earlier, we were talking about tomorrow, Representative Ro Khanna is actually doing a live press conference that I want to live stream that as well, because he's bringing out the survivors of Epstein, including one that has made for years now accusations against Donald Trump, saying that not only did Donald Trump do horrific shit to her, but that Epstein videotaped it, and she has actually seen the videotapes because Epstein used the videotapes to blackmail her to continue doing what he wanted. So he's got multiple of these survivors who are supposed to come and speak out because he's trying to force the release of the Epstein list. Gecko Namer, Elvis was a pedophile. He certainly was, bro. And honestly, if you look back, and it kills me to say this because I was a huge Johnny Cash fan until I found out how old his wife was when they first hooked up, and it's not good. Death Silence, why don't you ask the fat electrician to run for senator of Iowa? Be funny to have Herrera and Nick in Congress. Can you imagine the congressional meetings that we would have if those two were in Congress? We could just bully Congress, dog. If I could get in there for Oregon and we had the fat electrician in there for Iowa and we had Brandon Herrera in there for Texas, we would bully the shit out of Congress, bro. It would be a fucking massacre. It would be so bad. Open Door Policy Podcast. Alien disclosure before list. Bet. They've disclosed aliens multiple times, my G. They keep telling us, and we're like, yeah, that's cool. Let's get back to how you're going to make our lives better. Let's get the Epstein list. You're just trying to distract us. Dab Team 6, Bruce Springsteen was a pedophile? Oh, bro, that's another one that's going to make me sad. I grew up, my parents, my dad's a Vietnam vet, Marine Vietnam vet. My parents were hippies. I grew up listening to, Bruce Springsteen and Willie Nelson and shit like that. I haven't heard anything about Bruce Springsteen. That would make me sad in the pants. I'm going to have to look into that. Thank you, though. Peter Keenan. Same with people who support Gigi Allen. God damn, bro. So many people, I think, don't understand how disgusting Gigi Allen was. That's crazy, man. Andy Petrie, Canadian Army vet here. Pedos and chippers can be spun by hand. What's the rush? Love you, bro. Hey, and I don't think there should be any rush. Thank you for your service to your country, homeboy. That's beautiful. I just want to mention real quick while we're waiting for Trump to come out, if you want to make pedophiles afraid again hat or make pedophiles afraid again wood chipper t-shirt, or if you like the make pedophiles afraid again red and white motif hat, all of that is available at bunkerbranding.com. That is actually the merch store for all of the unsubscribed boys and a bunch of other great creators. And thank you, Dr. Dre Light. I love you so much, brother. I just pinned Dr. Dre Light's link that he put for that at the top of the chat. So if you want to get your Make Pedophiles Afraid Again merch, it's there. And just yesterday, I dropped a Sober Not Stuffed shirt, tank, hoodie, and hats. Quinn Valerios. Wait, bullying Congress is bad? You're telling me? Bullying Congress would be an amazing thing, brother. I think they need people in there bullying the fuck out of them. Because listen to me, man. We hire these people to do a job. We pay them out of our taxes. They take way the fuck too much from us. And then they don't do their job. Think about this logically. Think about this like you are an employer. Look at their work performance. Look at how they work together or refuse to work together. If you were the person in charge of hiring and firing people, which we should be, would you fire them? I would fire every single one of these motherfuckers immediately and get a crew of people who know how to work together and get the job done. Now, I really need to say this. The lady over here doing the signing, her faces are rad, bro. Like the lady doing the signing, her faces she's wild, bro. She looked confused. She looked kind of like angry. She's very expressive. I love that shit. Daniel Becker. Okay, JD, where's Trump? We're seriously sitting here waiting. I don't know. Are presidential addresses usually this late? We are 20 minutes into where it was supposed to be. Hold on one second. Let me check another channel and see if this is this just Fox News fucking up? Let me look real quick. Nope. I've checked multiple news channels. He's late. The Dawn is always a bit late, JD. Okay. Trump isn't known for being on time. Okay, then it's not me screwing up, and thank you guys for educating me. I appreciate that. Trump hasn't shown. They turned off Trump, damn it. You know, it weirded me out when right at the minute when he was supposed to be going on, all of a sudden it just went beep and it showed that rainbow colored screen. I was like, oh shit, bro. Here comes some wildness. Yo, Chef Armando, dude, thank you so much, homie. Appreciate you. Love the content, brother. Thanks for the short with the link to Victor's GoFundMe. I made a dono shortly after seeing your post. Any updates, dude? Your heart is amazing. Thank you for doing that. It's crazy, bro, because the update, the last time I checked, they were at like $350,000 and their goal was like 300,000, bro. Their original goal was 150. I found it when we were it was at 110. And when I shared that video, the next day I woke up and I checked it and it was almost at fucking 300,000. Now it's over 350,000. Victor is home. He's home. And you guys, for those who don't know what we're talking about, in the Minneapolis shooting, there was a 10-year-old boy who used his body as a human shield to protect his best friend, an 8-year-old boy. The 8-year-old boy threw himself on the ground when the shots started coming and the glass started breaking in on them. And he threw himself on the ground and his friend Victor threw himself over him and used his 10-year-old body as a shield to save his friend, and Victor was shot. So Victor had a GoFundMe. He is out. It's going to be a long road for him to rehabilitate from this gunshot. But so many people donated, so many people commented, so many people shared, so many people have been praying for this kid, and it is amazing. Now, the physical damage is going to be a long road. The mental and psychological damage of all these kids is going to be a much longer road. Dominar said we don't need a Democrat Congress or a Republican Congress. We need an American Congress. Hell yeah. Redacted. I've already tried 2 other stations, my guy. And so I checked back with another station and let's see. Here's another station that is, yep. He's not live yet. We're waiting on Donnie, bro. Donnie's doing Donnie. You know what I'm saying? Donnie's he's putting makeup on his hand because it looks bruised and cattywampus right now, bro. And all these people freaking out about the bruise on his hand and his swollen ankles. Do you guys not realize this dude is like almost 80? He's almost 80 years old. What do you expect to see when we keep electing senior citizens? Biden's brain didn't work. Trump's body, that's what happens when you get old, my guy. You can't hold that against him. He's 80. Yeah, bro is like 80 years old right now, dog. Like, what do you expect an 80-year-old skin to look like, bro? He's not in his prime, my G. I don't think we should allow people that are that old to be in the highest positions in our country. I'm sorry, I just don't. Call me ageist. I don't fucking care, man. I want to see people that are in their prime. I want them to be physically and mentally fit to the highest level. I think we should have the best, the brightest, the fittest, both mentally and physically running our country. And it's not, it's, you know, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, we love Trump. Cool, man. But like out of the entire country, I guarantee you there's somebody sharper who's less of a fucking yeet risk, bro. I don't want somebody who's going to die in there. And to the people who are praying that Trump dies, that's kind of gross. And who do you think you're going to get? Kamala Harris is not the vice president anymore, my G. You're going to get J.D. Vance. And J.D. Vance is not going to make you any happier. He's more conservative than Trump, and he's got more longevity. If Trump died right now, Vance would get the 3 years that Trump's got right now. And then more than likely, depending on the job he does, there's a huge chance he'd get another 8. So you could be living with 11 years of J.D. Vance, and you're over there going, oh, please let something bad happen to Trump. Gavin Newsom is not going to get the president in 2028, my guy. Too many people hate him. He's done too much damage. He's too shady. He's a proven liar. He doesn't care about his people. This shit with the California fires killed that, bro. And my boy Spencer Pratt has something for him with the feds too. Sharpshooter 74. Hey, JD. Hope your day has been awesome. Cheers from Utah. Just finished leg day at the gym. Gonna load as some penicillin pills for my freedom stickers after lunch. Keep up that awesome content, man. Hey, Sharpshooter, I appreciate you and I love you, big dog. Today's leg day for me, too. That's what I'm doing after I get done here, man. We're going to be jumping on them legs. Mark Steele said, God bless those poor little warriors. Did they catch the goofs that did this? So it was only one guy, and they didn't have to catch him. He caught himself. He caught himself, if you know what I'm saying. He did not Epstein himself the way Epstein didn't Epstein himself. He blasted himself. He was a coward, bro. He wasn't going to get taken in. He was a coward. Austin said, JD, just wanted to say I love the content. My uncle did a 15 clip. You and he both prove that a bad past doesn't mean you're a bad person. God bless. Austin, big love and respect to you, man. Big love and respect to your uncle. Hell yeah. Thank you so much for saying that, man. I appreciate it. Dominar said our founding fathers were about 23 years old. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. That's what the fuck I'm talking. Let's get some young blood up in this bitch. Let's get some fucking warriors, dog. I'm tired of old people running the world. And call me ageist. I don't care. I'm old, dog. I'm old. I would like to see someone younger than me up in that bitch, fitter than me up in that bitch. Not pumped full of trend like Wes Watson or Ben Child Rapist Azuli, but, you know, fit and ready to go. Jensen said 10 years is max as president. If Vance becomes president with 2 years left, he can only serve one full term. Is that really a thing? That might be something I'm not aware of, and thank you for educating me, bro. Quinn Valerios, if not an age limit or having a younger starting age for positions, I think yearly tests should be mandatory. I think yearly tests should be mandatory. I think that if you work in any form of our government, drug testing needs to be mandatory, both at random and suspicion drug testing, because I think a lot of these motherfuckers are alcoholics. I think a lot of these motherfuckers are on drugs. You can't fool me, dog. I did drugs for 20 years, and I work with people who are in recovery from drugs, and I can tell 5 days later when they talk to me on a fucking Zoom call if they did drugs recently. I look at some of these people in Congress and the Senate, and I'm like, bitch, you know you a cokehead. Bitch, you know you on pills. You can tell, bro. And we don't need people that are not there fucking fully coherent and mental in these positions. The engaged few. If Vance got more than half of Trump's term, he would only be allowed to serve one term of his own. Less than half would allow him 2 terms. Okay, so I was 100% wrong, and you guys came and educated me. And as always, when you guys educate me, I humbly thank you. I humbly thank you for educating me. I appreciate that. I don't know everything, and I love it when you guys uplift me by educating me. You guys are literally the fucking best, man. Thank you. This is why this community is so beautiful. Bob with the hat. Hey, yo, JD Live. Cheers from the Israel chapter of the Wood Chipper Appreciation Society. What's up, man? Thank you so much, brother. Nexus, keep up the good work, brother. Yo, thank you for that support, Nexus. Thank you for that. I appreciate you, dude. Hell yeah. Painkiller. Republicans are going to have to screw up a huge to ever see a Democrat in office again. We need to start looking at some of our citizens causing problems as well. I think what they need to do is get off of the identity politics, bro, because they push so far in one direction and stripped accountability from people due to their identities and made so many people feel like they're a victim that now people are just repelled by the whole scenario. You know what I'm saying? A sad sack of mad owls. I love your name. I just wanted to thank you. You inspired me to get off drugs. Over 8 months clean and enrolled in community classes, turning my life around. A sack of mad owls. I could not be any more proud of you. And I love that something that I said or did inspired you. But please take all of the credit for your hard work and your determination and you turning your life around. I am just so glad to be any type of part of that. I love you. Sean Doherty, average age of the founding fathers was 44. Okay, we got a discrepancy here. We got two different ages. I'm not sure which is which because I'm not the most educated person on this. Anyone else want to chime in? Trev said, tomorrow I adopt my stepson. 13 years in the making. Trev, hell yeah. Big dog shit, man. I'm so fucking proud of you. Hell yeah. Scorched Earth should make it mandatory hard drive checks to serve politically. Here's the thing I think it should be mandatory hard drive checks. I think that it should be absolutely required that you release all of your financials, and I don't think you should be able to do stock trading while you're in any serious position. I just think that's what it should be. It's crazy how common knowledge it is of what Nancy Pelosi is doing, to the point where it's a meme, to the point where it's like literally people have made apps to follow her trades, and she's still allowed to do this shit. It's so corrupt and disgusting. Roman Wolf Gaming, JD, what if he announces troops to Chicago, 45 shot? Look, man, here's the thing, is when states and cities fail to keep their citizens safe, at what point do we think that the federal government has an obligation to step in? Chicago has been a dumpster fire, but they don't care because it's mainly on the south side. And you know what's on the south side? People of color, poor people. The south side, I went out to Chicago and, I got the Airbnb that I got was out there on the south side. I did not know. I was told any neighborhood in Chicago is good. Out there on the south side, it was kind of a sketchy situation, but I still felt welcomed. I still felt fine. I hung out outside and talked to people at night, but other people were telling me, bro, you can't come here without a gun. I was fine, but the south side is an absolute mess, and people don't really care too much about that because it's the south side, because it's the poor people, because it's the people of color. I think it would be great if they sent some sort of federal agency in there, or, some branch of the military to get that shit under control, because there's kids that live there, dog, and those kids deserve to be safe. And the city and the state have failed to do their fucking job to keep their citizens safe. Raging Bull, side question. Did you watch the Venture Bros? If so, what was your thoughts on it? I've never seen the Venture Bros. Paunchy7 said, dude shouted, do you get free healthcare, while he himself does get free healthcare. Here's my take. Can we talk about universal healthcare for a second? I would be all for universal healthcare if our government wasn't such a dumpster fire at anything and everything they do. When have you ever seen the American government do something where there wasn't shitloads of corruption, where there wasn't shitloads of overspending, where there wasn't shitloads of money being drained back into politicians' pockets, and where people got effective services out of it? We have the VA, and all my friends that are veterans are like, the VA is so fucked up. Imagine the VA times, I don't know what, 4 or 5 million, 10 million more people that need services. I think it would be a fucking clusterfuck. I have friends, we have mods right here. That are in the UK. I'm not going to throw their business out there, but they have universal health care, and it is a horror story. When we talk, it is a perpetual horror story, the things that they go through. Julie Hanson, I just found out my mom is cancer-free. Hell yeah! We fucking hate cancer over here, and we love your mom. So glad to hear that. Big ups. That's beautiful. Dan Miller, thank you so much. Speedy Spring Cap, mandatory drug and criminal history and Bible-based morality test before getting into any position in the government. Also, thank you for your blunt truth, man. Look, man, so Bible-based morality test is a huge no-go, bro. because of the separation of church and state. That's just not something that you can legitimately put in, bro. Not everybody in America has the same religious beliefs, and that would be an absolute nightmare. That's just something that's unconstitutional. Fuck universal health care. It's not up to me to pay more. I'm taxed to cover your health care. Most can afford health care, but choose other things instead. Well, and that's like just a side issue, in my opinion. In my opinion, that's a whole ass side issue. In my opinion,
those are
in my opinion, it comes down to they would never do it effectively. And that's what I don't like. I'm going to move us over to another channel here to check that he's still not live yet, but it looks like they're actually talking about some shit. I don't want to see this dude from Minneapolis's face. I don't like that dude. I don't like how he immediately wants to make it about taking people's guns away. I think he can eat a fat ass dull. What's going on here? What are you talking about? Let's see what this dude talking about.
Pure and live pure. A great way.
He's doing an ad. Ugh. Oh, well, at least we don't have to see the dude from Minneapolis's face. I don't like that dude. Okay. So, oh shit. Paunchy 7, the original comment was about a Republican congressman in Nebraska who shouted to people he represents. Ironically, he gets free health care. This is the shit that I'm talking about. This is the shit that makes people want to take to the streets, you guys. This type of fucking unrelenting, weird ass fuck shit from the people in our government, where it's rules for us, different rules for them, and they're ripping us off. They are absolutely ripping us off. So, Bob with the hat. We have a farm of universal health care in Israel. 2 months wait for a GP, 2 weeks for petty specialists. Not this year. And what they have over in the UK is way worse than that from all the reports I've gotten. And in Canada, it seems like they're a little bit better, but it's all relative, man. Mark said Trump is a felon, a selfish criminal. Why there are people in the US that still cheer for him, and why Fox News, 90% of what Fox News says is fake. People need to wake up. Thank you for your opinion, my friend. Tone Man MBG. Hey, JD, my wife and I are working to be foster parents. Much love, brother, to you and your family. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for being somebody who is saving kids' lives. Big love and respect to you and your wife. Dan Miller said, hey, I just got out 6 months ago after doing 2 years for DUI in Wisconsin. 2 years for DUI. Holy shit, man. It was what I needed to get clean, but I still keep it up now. That's what's up, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody makes mistakes, but it's not about our mistakes. It's how we learn and how we grow and how we become better people afterwards. Because I'm telling you right now, there's not a single perfect motherfucker out there. There's not a single perfect person out there. But what matters and what counts is the way you pick it up and the way you do better for yourself, your family, and your community. You notice that I say community on here a lot. There's actually people who have drinking games to some of the live streams. And every time I say community, they drink. But I'm very community oriented because when I was a drug addict and a criminal, I was very self-centered. I was very selfish. And I hated the person that made me into. A15FK accidental extra. I went to the VA in Houston for 1.5 years after I got out. Never saw the same psychiatrist twice, and they just kicked up my doses. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's absolutely crazy, and I'm sorry. You deserved better than that. Rest in peace, Joe Exotic. Did Joe Exotic die? Could somebody look it up for me and see if Joe Exotic died? That was a very cryptic post. I would like to know if Joe Exotic is dead. Super Bear Chew, what's up, man? Hey, brother, at work, what did I miss? Nothing. We are literally sitting here waiting for Trump to come on and do a live press conference, and he is now currently 41 minutes late. Do you guys think he's dead? Do you guys think this was all just a double bluff? Do you think he's really dead? Nobody's seen him since Thursday. Joe Pepito, hey man, Canadian here. We love Trump up here. Man, I wish we could all get together and stop having a border so I could come hanging out with my fucking Canadian homies. Okay. Kara said, no, he's alive. He did not die. Trev said, no, he's alive. Okay. Everybody's telling me he's still alive. You know, I was just randomly sitting here in my studio a month and a half, 2 months ago, and I got a call on Insta from Joe Exotic from prison. He was calling me on Instagram, and I picked up and I was like, hey, what's up, Joe? How you doing? And he was like, yo, man, I would really like to be able to come on your podcast and talk to you. Can we set it up? We set up a date and a time. I wanted to talk to him. I have a really big problem with animal abuse, and I wanted to get on here and grill him and talk to him and see what he had to say, you know, because I don't understand a whole lot about dealing with exotic animals like that. And I don't know if he was doing mercy killings for animals that were sick, or if he was killing animals because they were not cost effective anymore to him. And I wanted to have it out with him. And he no-showed on me the day that we were supposed to have that interview. And then he had some other people hit me up like, hey, do you want to have Joe Exotic on? And I was like, no, he wasted my time. Death Silence. We already have universal health care. It's called enlisting in the military. Hell yeah, my guy. I fucking love that. But then again, you hear people talk about the VA and how it's got shortcomings. What's your experience, Death Silence? What's your experience with the VA, Ben? Have you had a good, healthy, positive experience? Dominar said recovery. The most important step a man can take. It's not the first one, is it? It's the next one. Always the next step. Brandon Sanderson. And it's taking that step every minute of every day for the rest of your life. Yo, Bob with the hat. Bob with hat. Free unhealth care. Cheers to the fat electrician reference. The collector said, Trump is getting makeup done. He's coming out. You know, I don't know, admittedly, I don't know a lot about makeup. I've never done a TV show where you need makeup. I did one TV show. I just got word that it's going to be coming out later on this year. And they didn't put any makeup on me. So I don't know anything about the process of getting makeup done. I've never been like a drag queen or any of that shit. So I just don't know. But it seems like you could have it scheduled if you know you're supposed to go and do a press conference at, 2 p.m. EST. You'd think you'd have that done so you weren't 45 minutes late. Is he glitch McConnelling? Is he having a cardiac incident? What's going on here? Why is he not out here? We are all waiting. Painkiller. Nobody who has served a term in the military should ever have to pay for health care. Amen and fucking hallelujah, bro. Amen. Fishy business. No, we fucking don't. Or you calling my uncle from the Navy a liar, having to wait longer in the... Oh, you guys are fighting with each other. You guys are be nice to each other, you guys. Dead ass, though. Where is Trump? Sanity's horror. That's what I'm saying, G. I mean, is it a hemorrhoid? When you're 80 years old, there's so much shit that could go wrong. Paunchy7, I sent a DM to your Insta, a video of the congressman. Awesome. Same name on Insta. Always make sure to tell me your name, because if it's different, I need to know. Within 2 minutes, I bet. All right, behind you 99. We've been waiting for 46 minutes. Let's see if this happens within the next 2 minutes. He got poisoned. It puts the lotion on the hemorrhoid. or else it gets the lance again. Unrested Tank, what's up? The daily McDonald's and 10 daily Diet Cokes finally caught up with the bastard. Hey, man, if I ate like that, bro, I would be a fat, flaccid fuck, bro. I don't know how dude exists on McDonald's food. I can't do it. I can't even eat that shit. Vance is about to walk out in a Trump costume. A sad sack of mad owls. That's crazy, bro. I could see it. Fletch, what up, my fellow Eugenian? How you doing, brother? Yo, we got Bone Crusher from Central Oregon. What's up, my G? How you doing? Why would you purposely try to start these rumors, etc.? Trump is alive and well. Are you just not on the internet, dog? Have you not seen the rumors for days now? And now he's 45 minutes late to a press conference that he set up the time for? We're having fun over here. Quit being a little bitch in the fucking chat, bro. Tighten up. Fucking hoe. DK, I'm not sorry about this. I'm a veteran and I've had to deal with the VA for over a decade and it's completely jacked up. Thank you for your service and thank you for sharing your experience with us because your voice is fucking important. Hold on, here's Trump. So I'm convinced anybody who wants universal health care is a masochist. Here he is. He's finally out. Whoever said 2 minutes was fucking on point.
I can't always say that, even if they're Republicans. These are Republicans, great Republicans. I want to thank you all for being here for this important announcement, 7 years in the making. As you know, this has been going on for a long period of time, and I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale of a place called Huntsville, Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City. Okay,
Rocket
so
City?
Huntsville, Alabama. We love Alabama. I only won it by about 47 points. I don't think that influenced my decision, though. That didn't, right? But we had a lot of competition for this, and Alabama's getting it. Huntsville in particular. So congratulations, everybody. Katie, congratulations.
Okay.
This will result in more than 30,000 Alabama jobs and probably much more than that, and hundreds of millions of dollars of investment, and that's billions because it can't be millions, it's billions and billions of dollars. Most importantly, this decision will help America defend and dominate the high frontier, as they call it. I want to thank Secretary Pete Hegseth. He's doing a fantastic job, and Secretary of the Air Force Troy Mink. Troy, thank you very much. Great job you're doing, Troy.
I think Hegseth is doing
such
a great job.
a big deal. This is one that everybody wanted to know. What are you doing? I also want to thank Senators Katie Britt, and I want to give my condolences. Your grandmother, her grandmother just passed away. She was 100, right?
100, and she loves you, Mr. President.
Well, and she was very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Very, very proud of you. So thank you, Katie.
Wonderful woman.
She must have been. To produce you indirectly, I can tell you she had to be. Tommy Tuberville, who's a great coach. And I won't say anything about what happened with Alabama football this weekend. But you're not used to that, right? You're not used to that. But Tommy, Auburn won, that's right. So you're happy. Tommy's been a great senator, as you know, and fantastic guy all around. He was also a tremendous coach. House Armed Services Committee Chair Mike Rogers. Thank you, Mike. Where's Mike?
What are we?
Mike,
What are we doing? Are we just are we just stroking everybody off here?
Representatives Barry Moore, all great friends. Robert Adderholt.
Talk
Gary
about what
Palmer,
you're doing,
and Dale
bro.
Strong. Thank you all very much, fellas.
Quit yanking everybody.
In my first term, I created a thing called Space Force. So important. You know, we were losing the race in space very badly to China and to Russia. And now we're far and away #1 in space, and reestablished Space Com with a mission to protect American space assets and detect any threat to our homeland. We initially selected Huntsville for the Spacecom headquarters, yet those plans were wrongfully obstructed by the Biden administration. And as you know, they moved them to a different locale. And today we're moving forward with what we want to do and the place that we want to have this. And this will be there for hopefully hundreds of years. That's where it's going to be. I will say I want to thank Colorado. The problem I have with Colorado, one of the big problems, they do mail-in voting. They went to all mail-in voting. So they have automatically crooked elections. And we can't have that. When a state is for mail-in voting, that means they want dishonest elections, because that's what that means. So that played a big factor also. In Huntsville, SpaceCom will play a key role in building the Golden Dome, as you know. That's going to be a big thing. Everybody wants to be a participant in it. Missile Defense Shield, we're going to be having a Golden Dome that the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. The finest, the best. And by the way, Canada called. They want to be a part of it, and that'll be great. But Canada wants very much to be included in that, and we're going to work something out with them, I hope. It will also ensure that our technological capabilities, of which we're way ahead of anybody else, there's nobody close, remain unmatched long into the future. So I'd like to ask Secretary Hegseth to say a few words. He was very much a part of it. And really, everybody behind me was. Every one of these people would call me and lobby me. I said, Katie, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I know what you want. She said, that's right, sir. That's what I want. And they got their way. So I just want to congratulate. These are really special people. They're politicians in many ways, but they're great patriots, I think even more so than politicians. So they fought very hard.
He is hella low energy today. Sanity's horror.
Pete,
this is low energy Trump.
Thank you, Mr. President. As usual, right place, right time, for the right reason. In your first administration, you established the Space Force at a time when we knew we had to be looking to that domain of space. You also reestablished SpaceCom to ensure that priority was put in place, and you, through the Air Force, independently identified that Huntsville, Alabama was the right place to put it. For other reasons, in the next administration under Biden, they decided to move it somewhere else.
He does look under the weather.
During that time, the DOD Inspector General, the Government Affairs Office, they did their own assessments, and where did they say SpaceCom should go? Huntsville, Alabama. So what you're doing today, Mr. President, is restoring it to precisely where it should be based on what the Space Force, the Air Force, your leadership believes will give us strategic advantage in the future. That is Huntsville, Alabama. We are way ahead in space, but this will ensure we stay leaps and bounds ahead, because that's the most important domain. Whoever controls the skies will control the future of warfare. And Mr. President, today you're ensuring that happens. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Katie, would you like to say something?
Mr. President, we are grateful for your leadership on this and restoring Space Command to its rightful home in Huntsville, Alabama. This delegation has worked together, both chambers, both parties, to make sure that Huntsville was the place that Space Command called home. As was mentioned, obviously the Biden administration chose to make this political. What we want to do is put the safety and security of Americans first. We want to make sure that our war fighter is put first, and we want to make sure that America continues to lead. And today, Mr. President,
Jabberjaws, I don't know who this Katie Broad is. At least she is like semi-coherent.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a great day.
I don't want to hear from every single one of these people. I'm sorry. We heard from President Trump. That's what I wanted to hear from on this situation. I feel like we got kind of like double bluffed here, you guys. I feel like we got kind of effed in the A little bit. They said it was going to be some sort of national emergency. And we're talking about Space Force, which in my opinion is important. I think that Space Force is important. Now, I also want to point out, we're talking a whole lot about the list, which it's not a list. We need the Epstein files. We need the fucking videos. We need the files. We need all of the witness statements. Ice Mutt, thank you so much, homie. You've got connections in Florida, but have you done Forgotten Angels? I don't know what Forgotten Angels is, Ice Mutt. I'm going to screenshot that. If anybody can educate me on what Forgotten Angels is, thank you so much for that support, big dog. I appreciate that. While we're talking about the files, tomorrow, Representative Ro Khanna is coming out with a live press conference that I want to live stream as well, where he is going to be talking about, he's going to have the survivors of Epstein that are still here with us. Of course, rest in peace, Virginia Giuffre. But the living survivors are going to come out and do a live press conference, putting all the shit that they went through on fucking blast for the world, for the fucking world to see. He wants the world to see it, trying to force Congress into a vote on releasing the Epstein files. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I want to catch up on some of these supers. Let's see, where were we? I know exactly where we were. Basketball Guru, what is up, my guy? You need to watch Andrew Wilson. I'm not religious, but he explains perfectly why our politicians should be, they all make policy on morals, religion or not. And I understand that there needs to be a moral fucking compass with politicians, but I don't think it could be based on one religion or the other. Hicka, alternative to universal health care, maybe make regulations to improve our current system by stopping insurance company shareholders from taking money we are all putting in for our health care. I think we need major health care reform, and I would be more open to that than I would be to universal health care, because I think when our government is running things, our government does a piss poor job of it, bro. Open Door Policy Podcast said the VA is always in a state of flux, using psychedelic research up here now without proper understanding to integration. It's real discussions needed. And I'm actually friends with a lot of veterans who have done psychedelic treatments and had incredible results. But I do think that there should be some sort of real talk about what procedures we're using for that. Unrested Tank said, hear me out. The United States Marine Corps is Uncle Sam's misguided children. So should the U.S. Navy be Uncle Sam's nuts, seeing as how it's full of semen? I don't think I'm allowed to comment on that, having never served. I love you, brother. I love you. And I love all my crayon eaters and anybody who served. I don't think I can make jokes like that because I never put my ass in service. I tried and they were like, you have a felony for possession of meth and you look high right now. Get the fuck out of here, weirdo. Trump make Biden look athletic. Dude definitely has stairs mastered. He has stairs mastered. You have to give him that. Ocean Nyan, 10-year Air Force, finally had to get out due to compartment syndrome, threatening both legs. The healthcare system inside the military is iffy, but if they take care of it, VA after you get out is hit or miss. Love the content, my man. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. Thank you for your service and your sacrifice. We love you, brother. Lord Kaylee's Draco, Trump is like your funny grandpa who also loves the USA. Well, I also love the USA. I want to put this up here for a minute because we didn't get a chance to put this up here. iSmut, thank you so much, my guy. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That means a lot, and that goes a long way to keep us going here. It means a whole lot. I absolutely love you, and I will be looking into the Forgotten Angels. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Union Jack Ripper, honestly, I think he's had a stroke. That's the feeling I'm getting. Analyzing this, part of the reason that I wanted to see this was for what people were saying he was going to be announcing, and what he was announcing seemed like it might be important. And on a certain level, Space Force is truly important because that is going to be the next frontier. And if we let people get ahead of us, if we let China or Russia get ahead of us in space, that could be absolutely detrimental to us. We now have technologies where they could best us and wipe us out from space. So having a space force is incredibly important. And I think that it was a mistake that Biden made cutting off Space Force. I'm going to tell you this. Jax, my wife, her mom worked in the White House during the Biden administration, but before that, she was she's a space lawyer, and she works in writing space law. Before that, she worked for Space Force for the Trump administration until Biden shut it down, and then they offered her a job in the White House. Now, she's since then retired, which is why I can speak about it now. They offered her a job at the Pentagon, and she said, no, I want to enjoy the rest of my life. Y'all are stressful. And she put in a lot of years of service to this country working as a lawyer. But Space Force and space law is really important because that is the next frontier of war here on Earth. I'm not talking about going and fighting everybody always wants to make it like some sci-fi fucking movie, bro. Imagine dropping nukes from fucking space and we can't detect them until it's too late. It's a real problem. Pat said Rocket City, Elton John coming or what? Yeah, or, oh man. Yeah, bro, some of the names crack me up. Death Silence said, unfortunately, if the DOJ releases the videos, it would mean the release of massive amounts of child pornography. And that is true. But I think that there's lead up to that could give us context and proof of what's going on, and we could see who was there. Super Bear Jew, as a Canadian, universal health care is fucking awful. Thank you. Thank you for chiming in on that. Your voice is important in this. Dominar, what is an elephant? It's a mouse built to government specifications. Big facts on that. Hell yeah, bro. You have a way with words. When you write a book, please let me know because I'm going to buy the shit out of it. Speed said people will flood the White House with trash, streets, businesses, over keeping a border open for illegals. But when it comes to the Epstein list, nothing. Well, I don't think it's nothing. I think that the only reason that they haven't completely shuffled it under the fucking rug is because of the public outcry. It's because of me and you and everybody who's been keeping loud about it. And Representative Ro Khanna is a Democrat, but I find myself siding with this guy so often. He went after Roblox. He has not stopped going after this Epstein situation. And that's why I can never pigeonhole myself to right or left or say that I support a specific politician, because I'm always going to go with who I think is being morally consistent with what I feel is right. And Ro Khanna, even though I don't agree with him on everything, he comes out and does crazy shit that I'm 100% like, fucking get him. Dung is fun. We have a better chance of seeing Santa's list before Epstein's. You know, and here's the thing. They keep saying there's no list, but bro, there's a ton of files. There's a ton of videos. MP5 guy said, I have the files. I'm trapped in Hunter's gravity pod. Please help. Bro, I think so. Here's the other thing we need. We need the Epstein list, the Epstein files. We need all of the Diddy files. We need all the Destiny files, bro. Destiny came out and said that if he goes down for having child pornography and grooming minors online, he said that he will take down 20 other streamers who are doing the same thing. So he is literally complicit in 20 other streamers, by his own admission, who are grooming children and have child pornography. I think we need Hunter's laptop. There are so many things that they are hiding from us, and it's absolutely disgusting. We need a transparent government. Grant Lang, thank you for summing it up. We need a transparent government that's held fucking accountable. Trump is talking again. Let's jump back in. Let's see what's going on. Come on, buddy. You can do it.
And thousands of schools that run perfectly. You know, they talk about you can do things construction-wise, and that's really, I think nobody knows more about construction than me. You can build the construction doors. You can build what they call safety doors, where they lock on the outside, the inside, and every place else. Well, but if one of these lunatics happens to get through, then the police can't get in. Then they're looking for keys all over the place, and it takes a lot of disadvantages to doing, spending billions and billions of dollars and actually making it safer in some way for some of these lunatics that we're dealing with. But I don't think so. I've thrown out the concept. We have great teachers that love our children. The parents love the children. Teachers love the children too. And if you took a small percentage of those teachers that were in the military, that were distinguished in the military, that were in the National Guard, et cetera, and you let them carry, that's something that a lot of people like. I sort of liked it.
Fucking yes!
Studied, but they're trained. They know about weapons. You can't do it with every teacher because most teachers don't know, and but I always thought that would be an alternative. But it just, we've had a lot of instances. Other countries have also. They have different kinds of problems than we have, but we do have. There's something going on.
Armed veterans in every school.
It's a bad thing. Yes, please.
I've spoken with President Putin in the past week.
Have you spoken with President Putin?
Yeah, I don't want to. I have learned things that will be very interesting. I think in the next few days you'll find out.
Will there be any consequences if there isn't some type of announcement of a?
What do you guys think about armed veterans in every school? Let me know in the chat.
We're going to see what they do and what happens. I'm watching it very closely. Last week they lost 7,000 between the two countries. 7,313 soldiers, to be somewhat exact, for no reason.
James
whatsoever.
Wells. Hell yeah.
And they're Russian and they're Ukrainian, but they're soldiers. I want to see it end. Yep.
Have you decided you're definitely going to send National Guard troops to Chicago?
I didn't say when, but the answer is, look, Chicago's very interesting because I watched Pritzker get up and say about, we don't need help, we're safe. But 2 weeks ago, they had 6 people murdered, and they had 24 people hit by bullets. Last week, as you know, it was 7 people, 24 people hit, and 7 people died. And then over the last 2 days, that was the crown jewel. They had, I guess, 9 or 10 killed, and 50 hit with bullets. And you have this governor get up, who's a terrible governor. Probably he and Gavin Newsom would be probably the 2 worst and most naive. They're naive. Either they're naive or they're very untruthful. And he'll say, we don't want any protection. We don't need. So in the last 3 weeks, he's lost almost 20 people killed. There's no place in the world, including you can go to Afghanistan, you can go to places that you would think of. They don't even come close to this. Chicago is a hellhole right now. Baltimore is a hellhole right now.
Baltimore's
Parts
fucked.
of Los Angeles are terrible. If we didn't put out the fires, and I mean the other fires, the bullet fires, they didn't do a good job with. They should have had the water coming down, like I said. We had to release the water. We had to go in and release the water to LA.
Yep.
It's so badly run. But if I didn't send the National Guard into Los Angeles, you wouldn't.
Okay, so I want to point this out because Florida has another solution, and we need to talk about this. Florida is actually contracting with a company that makes drones for there's 3 counties or maybe 6 counties in Florida that have already signed on for this, and they're going to have drones in the schools that are armed with tasers and pepper spray paintballs, and they can be deployed with the push of a button, and they're ran by like people that are drone trained in Texas to stop school shooters until police can arrive on scene. It's very futuristic. I still like the idea of armed veterans in every school, but having drones to assist could be fucking lit.
Phil, and I'd simultaneously be saying, by the way, the Olympics is not coming to Los Angeles. If we didn't do that, and even the sheriff, the top law enforcement person in Los Angeles said, we could not have handled it without them. So that's what he said.
Make your mind up on Chicago, though?
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When we lose, when 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks, and 75 are shot with bullets. So let me tell you a little story about a place called D.C., District of Columbia, right here where we are. It's now a safe zone. We have no crime. We have
And I fucking agree.
You can go and actually walk with your children, your wife, your husband. You can walk right down the middle of the street. You're not going to be shot, Peter. You're safe.
I agree. I agree that the government has an obligation when the state and city, local governments fail.
Everyone likes you anyway. They probably wouldn't do it. But it's so dangerous. And there are people in this audience that you've suffered greatly. There are people in this audience that have been mugged and hurt badly, and they don't want to talk about it. Maybe you were very brave in talking about it. You made quite an impression on a lot of people. I appreciate it. But there were other people in this room that have been hurt very badly just walking down the street in D.C.
Yep.
Washington.
I was in D.C. the end of last year. Jax was doing a speech at the White House for her mother's retirement. And D.C., It was not safe. I did not want my wife walking the streets of DC alone. I did not want, I wouldn't have wanted my wife to take our dogs out to go potty alone. I wouldn't want my wife waiting outside of our really nice hotel, waiting for an Uber alone. I was working out in the fucking gym and seeing through these giant glass one-sided windows. It was a mirror on the other side, and I would see what was going on out there, and it was fucking crazy, dog. It was fucking crazy.
DC is a safe zone right now. It's a safe city. The restaurants are open. They're booming. You can't get a restaurant. New restaurants are announcing that they're going to be open. This took place in 12 days. Now it's 15 days, but 3 days ago it became what's known as a safe zone. It's a safe city. And this city was really bad. Really, really bad. We took 1,600 people out, hardcore criminals that will not be coming back anytime soon. And we're very proud of it. You know, to have our nation's capital lose every week. You know, it was like years, many years, where every single week somebody was killed for many, many, many consecutive weeks. This went on for years. And then we had, last week it was announced that nobody was killed last week. And I made that announcement in front of a very distinguished leader of a country. And I'm saying proudly, ladies and gentlemen, nobody was killed in Washington, D.C.
I will unsub if he says that Chicago is safe. Who the fuck would say Chicago is safe, bro? Are you high right now? Who the fuck would say that? That's fucking ridiculous.
This week, he looked at me like, what's that all about? I said, yeah, we have a little bit of a crime problem, and we don't have a crime problem in Washington anymore. And the mayor has been very helpful, and the police commission has been very helpful, and it's been a great team. And I would love to have Governor Pritzker call me. I'd gain respect for him and say, we do have a problem, and we'd love you to send in the troops.
John Keating, just say Chicago is safe, JD. It'll be funny. Chicago is the safest city in the Eastern Seaboard. It's the safest city in the Tri-County area. Chicago is the safest place to be 7 days a week.
Because you know what? The people, they have to be protected. I saw today on one of your networks, not a friendly network.
They need to do the same thing in fucking Portland. They need to do the same thing in fucking Portland. Portland, bro, I lived in Portland like 20 years ago. Portland was fucking beautiful. Portland was fucking like, you could walk downtown Portland and there's like just random young women walking around safely. There was like, you know, shit was decent there. Like you could be out at night in Portland and not get fucking assaulted by some fucked up fentanyl ferret. And Portland was a beautiful place to be. And the only time you would ever see any type of real fuck shit was when you were right downtown where like, you know, it was really bad. And now you go to like any of the neighborhoods in Portland and it's gross. It's like the whole city got infected and fucked up during the summer of love. And it's just turned into a fucking hellhole. They need to do shit for the people in Portland because there's little kids in those fucking neighborhoods. There's a bunch of people who are like, oh, you voted for that. Bro, first off, Oregon has mail-in voting. And ever since we got mail-in voting, I'm pretty sure nobody has had a real choice in who has been in power in the state of Oregon since we had mail-in voting decades ago. And beyond that, we're talking about the safety of little kids. Kids didn't vote for anything. Have a little fucking compassion and heart. Send in the federal government. Send in who you need to send in to make fucking these cities safe again.
Except really the opposite.
Seattle too, Sarah. Seattle too. Good to see you.
And they interviewed about 12 people on this morning. Most of them were African American. They were black. And they were saying, please, please, please let the president send in. These were people from Chicago. Please, we need help. We need help. We can't walk outside. We're petrified.
So somebody asked, was it decriminalizing all drugs that made it bad in Portland? It definitely did not help. And here's the reason. It wasn't that they decriminalized the drugs. It was that they didn't follow up with the treatment options. Instead, they leaned way heavily into harm reduction. For those of you who don't know what harm reduction is, I am a harm reduction fan when it's done with common sense and logic. So I think needle exchanges are great when it's they give you 10 needles, you bring back 10 needles, you get 10 clean ones after they've been used. But they started handing out boxes of 100 fucking needles to people, and you don't have to bring anything back. They just keep handing you boxes. And they paid to give out millions of crack pipes. Bitch, shut the fuck up. Handing out millions of dollars worth of crack pipes when they said they were going to do treatment, and they never followed through with the treatment. We need places to get these addicts actual help, not just facilitate their using. So that's why it fucking failed. And Oregon had an opportunity to show the nation that we could actually do something here. And we didn't. We didn't. The idea of not making somebody a felon for the rest of their life for a simple possession. My first felony that made me a felon, convicted felon, took away my rights for the rest of my life, was a 10 sack of meth when I was struggling with my addiction. So, putting people into treatment instead of making every time they go to rent an apartment, they have to check that box. Every time they try to get a job, they have to check that box. Yes, I'm a convicted felon. That's a good idea. But we need fucking help with these people. We need more treatment.
If the governor of Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country. And that includes Baltimore. I saw where Governor Moore was asking me to take a walk down the street of Baltimore. Well, Baltimore is a very unsafe place. It's rated number 4 in the city, one of the most unsafe places anywhere in the world.
Research what's going on in Baltimore. It's fucking insane. Dr. J. Light had to say, resorting to insults or threats will get you kicked out. Don't test my fucking mods. And if you're in here being some sort of tough guy over the internet through a fucking screen, you're a flat-faced pussy, bro. You're a fucking pussy. If you have to come to the internet to threaten people, run up or shut up, bitch. Don't fucking talk about it, be about it. Online fucking threats is the most pussy-ass cell warrior bullshit. You're literally a beta cuck, bro. You're the reason they put fucking chairs facing fucking beds in hotel rooms. You're that much of a baby back bitch.
But, we took care. This was a beautiful thing that happened in Washington because we showed.
Armed teachers is a wild idea, bro. I don't want teachers armed, to be honest with you. I think a lot of our teachers have screws loose. I think that we need to be doing a whole lot more filtering of our teachers, because I see a lot of them that I wouldn't want them armed around my kids. I think armed veterans in schools would be fucking appropriate. That would be appropriate. I would trust armed veterans over armed teachers.
We showed that it could be done. And this wasn't just sending big, strong guys, and they are big and they are strong.
They're big and they are strong. He talks like a teenage girl, dog. Have you ever noticed that? He talks like a teenage. He's like, I'll kiss everyone on the mouth, even that guy, not with much enjoyment, but I'd do it. Trump talks like a teenage girl. They're big and they're strong and they have muscles.
We had a great decision from
the
Supreme Court that had to do with sort of talent. It had to do with you are put down based on merit. You can hire based on merit. So merit for a soldier or for a policeman is strong, physically fit, having a certain ability, not a person that is woke and got the job through woke, but wasn't strong enough.
All right, he's regurgitating old shit that he's already talked about. Andrew Brubaker said, JD, did you bring up armed veterans in schools to Brandon Herrera? Absolutely. And he's 100% with it. He's 100% with it because Brandon Herrera is all common sense, bro, and intelligence. Charlie H said, the people that are on the list are still in government. The 3-letter agencies are involved. You also have to look at Anthony Weiner's laptop as well. Anthony Weiner's laptop absolutely needs to get checked. And I think it has more to do with the 3-letter agencies than the politicians. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. What a weirdo, unsubbing, so nutty, really. Cool. Get on before you get shit on, little punk ass bitch. Why do you announce your departure like it's a fucking airport, dog? Eat fucking sacks of shit on your way out the door. Evan D. Joestar. What would you think about sending our sex offenders, wife beaters, and other subhumans to Russia so they can become cannon fodder? I think that, I think that we should just, we could send them to Russia. Russia's a lot more brutal about it. I don't think we should send our resources to Russia, though. I think we should use them. We should get catapults and we should just shoot them into enemy territory and let them splat people. A sack of Mad Owls said Epstein Island was a CIA operation to blackmail people in power. Until the people involved die of old age, the files will stay hidden. So here's the thing: is we actually have the paperwork where Epstein was an FBI asset. So I believe the CIA was involved, but we know for a fact, and we have paperwork to prove that he was an FBI asset. Justin Bennett, I'm not a vet, but I'd volunteer to stay at my daughter's school to protect her and all the other kids there. I'd happily go get trained for it. And that's the type of heroes we need in there, bro. Urban Interface Living. Jax is a wood chipper trainer. Hell yeah. RZ, punish him. It was all the Chaz and Chop fascist retards that destroyed Portland and Seattle. They destroyed Portland, bro. Portland and Seattle will have such a hard time recovering from all of that shit, bro. Deathlance. Hey, JD, would you support terminal velocity deportations for illegals found guilty of abusing children? Yeah, 1,000%. I don't give a fuck what you do with them as long as they're not fucking breathing anymore, dog. I saw somebody say that he was, Seth Monster said he was a double agent and Maxwell was Mossad. So he was 1,000% working for Mossad, bro. And you can't logically look at the situation and say that he wasn't working for Mossad and that she wasn't his handler. That was 1,000% what was happening. Quibbly Danger. Where do we find the files and info that you mentioned? Well, you can very easily look up the paperwork. It was when he got hit with that Florida case, and he ended up getting the most leniency Florida's ever given anybody because the FBI stepped in and said, hey, we need him. Not only did he get leniency, but he got immunity in that for a bunch of unnamed people, as long as he continued to cooperate with the FBI. So I think he was working solely for Mossad up until then. And then I think the FBI came in and I think they got wind of what he was doing. And they're like, oh shit, he's getting blackmail material on people that's invaluable. We need to get this guy. And that's when I think he started working for the FBI and the CIA as well. Dalton Hewlett. Hey, Plop, will you be at the Unsub Live in Orlando? I have not had any invite to go and do that. I'm actually out in Oregon, but you know, the last time they toured, they asked me to come and do a couple shows with them. If they hit me up and ask me to do any shows, I'm not on probation anymore, so I can fly out very quickly and very easily, and I would love to do that. Amy Turner, why test medicine and other products on animals when we have perfectly good pets in prison and the streets? And I agree 1,000%, Amy. What are they going to do? Say no? Fuck them. All right, you guys. Well, I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out. We've been on here for like an hour and a half. I feel kind of like that Trump announcement was a letdown. I don't feel like he looked well. I'm not sure exactly what's going on and why we haven't seen him since Thursday, but he had a lot less energy than he normally brings to the table. But at least we know now that he is, in fact, alive, which will shut a lot of people on the internet up. All that fucking debate about whether or not he died can go away. He might be under the weather. He might have suffered a stroke or a mini stroke. I'm not sure. But as much as it's a letdown, I do believe that we need to keep advancing Space Force and our efforts into that area. And, shout out to Huntsville. Huntsville, Alabama is getting a new base. 30,000 new jobs and millions of dollars pumped into their local economy. So thank you to every single one of you guys that hung out today. I love you. I appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, one love, baby. Oh, Bob with the hat. Peace, brother. Stay clean and safe. You too. Be good or be good at it, baby. Love each and every one of you. Woo!